The Chainsword. Most Helldivers look at this weapon and see a joke. They see a toy for role players, or even a glorified pizza cutter. They run straight at a Hulk, bounce off the armor, and die. Then their replacement clutters the fleet comms, complaining that the weapon isn't viable. Here's the truth. The Chainsword isn't a meme. It's an armor-piercing, stun-locking, infinite ammo solution to close quarters combat. If you're here, I'm gonna assume that you've been using it wrong. I'm Private Spruckus, and today I'm gonna teach you to become a butcher with the Chainsword. Now I know you want to skip straight to the violence. So, can you execute the maneuvers I'm about to show you without this specific build? Absolutely yes. But without the damage buff, higher durability, and the stagger resistance, you're turning a calculated execution into a coin flip. Your squad will have a much easier time finding space for reinforcements at least. Let's be real. Down it within arm's reach of anything in the galaxy is usually a death sentence. But to use this weapon, you have to live in that kill zone. You've got to take hits, and you can't afford to go down when you do. That reality dictates your loadout, a passive, non-negotiable. You need peak physique all rock solid, and the reasoning is simple. They grant a 100% increase to melee damage. That doubles your output. Running the Chainsword without one of these means you'll be spending 100% more time in melee range of things that want to kill you. Not a great plan. Running servo assisted? Great. You can throw grenades 50% further while you're being turned into paste. If you run light armor, one mistake means you're dead. Your survival expectancy drops to that of a damp paper towel. And heavy with rock solid, you become an immovable enough object. You take the punishment, so the blade keeps eating. The choice is yours, but my guidance from here on out assumes you're running heavy. All these techniques still apply to light armor, just be careful. As with any loadout, the Chainsword doesn't work in a vacuum. You need a primary and a secondary that can fill the gaps. I run the Jar 5 Dominator. This gives me a viable tool for every engagement range. Across the map, the jet assistant rounds still hit hard. Mid-range, it solves problems. Most importantly, it has stagger. You've got to remember, when you switch to the Chainsword, it isn't instant. You have to yank the pull cord. It takes a second to rev up. If something catches you off guard, you don't have that second. The Dominator stagger buys you the time you need to react, rev the engine, and start the slaughter. Your sidearm, the P92 Warren. This thing isn't for spraying and praying. This is for efficiency. The lock-on smart targeting allows you to instantly delete scavengers, hunters, and a small fry that outwit your time to swing on. Don't waste your stamina chasing a bug the size of a cat. Let the tracking system do the aiming, clean up the trash, and save the Chainsword for bigger game. You have the equipment. Now, let's talk about the mechanics of the cut. To make that heavy armor kill count, you have to keep the blade inside your target. To do that, you have to manipulate the weapon. This is what I call the aim drag technique. The Chainsword's teeth are moving as long as you're swinging, and if you sweep your view, you sweep the damage. When the blade digs into heavy or tank armor, it naturally slows down. By turning your aim against the swing, you keep it buried in the target longer. This maximizes the contact time, but that anti-tank penetration to ramp up. But there's a second benefit, the stun. Once that penetration starts to ramp, the force of the Chainsword locks the enemy down. As long as the teeth are grinding, most enemies can't retaliate. Guess I'd be stunned too if there was a chainsaw shot in my guts. This isn't just theory. Let's look at how the thing works against three of our main threats. The bull, the giant, and the mob. First, the bull. The charger. The first step is set up. You stand your ground and wait for the charge. Sidestep at the last second. And if you can bait it into hitting the wall, even better. That impact dazes it. Now, it's stationary. It's confused, and you have your pick of the kill. Option 1, the bleed out. Get behind it. Now, the armor grind mechanic won't trigger here. There's no plate to dig into. But honestly, you don't need it. 2 or 3 swings are all it takes to rupture the abdomen. Once it pops, the bleed out starts, and it's a dead bug walking. At that point, it's up to you if you want to let the undemocratic thing suffer, or just finish it off. Option 2, the flank strip. If you can't get the wall stun, or if you want to kill it now, you go for the armor. But don't stand in front. If you can get yourself positioned right between its front leg and its back leg, you enter a blind spot. It can't stomp you. It can't turn fast enough to get you. You're completely free to dig right into the flank. Use the aim drag, strip the armor plate, and gut it before it even realizes you're there. Next, the giant, the Hulk. This is the ultimate test of the Chainsword Doctrine. Most divers run away. You're gonna run at it. Don't run in a straight line, take the angle, but you need to close that distance. Once you are in range, you have 2 options. Option A, the vents. Easy, safe, boring. Option B, the faceplate. Now listen closely. Even with heavy armor and rock solid, a Hulk swing will send you back to the super destroyer in a box. Or a bucket. Physics is unpredictable. You have to time it. Wait for it to start firing its weapons, or finish its swing. In that split second, you dive in. Grab the chainsword and drive it directly into its chest. Don't expect the impact to stop it. You have to hold the line. It's the rapid mechanic that triggers the stun. Once those teeth fully spin up inside the armor, then it locks up. It's risky, it's violent, and it's one of the most democratic things you'll do all day. Finally, the mob. The illuminate flesh mob. This is where the chainsword shines, but also where most divers die. And here is why. Flesh mobs are soft. They have no armor, so the chainsword teeth struggle to find purchase. Without that resistance, the damage doesn't always ramp up, which means you rarely get the stun. They will hit you through your attacks. This brings us to the pre-stimming doctrine. Now, you can play this smart. You can bait the charge, step aside, and punish the recovery. But sometimes, you simply don't have any other options. The swarm is too thick, or the quarters are too tight. Thankfully, due to the combination of rock solid, heavy armor, and pre-stimming, you do have another option. If a flesh mob is on top of you, you're gonna get hit. Most divers wait until their health bar's red to heal. If you do that here, you die. When you see the enemy closing in, you pop the stim early, while you're at full health. With rock solid armor reducing the ragdoll, and an active stim healing you through the damage, you become immortal, or damn close to it, for 4 seconds. You're now trading a resource. 1 stim for the ability to stand in this thing's face and rip it to pieces. Let him hit you. As long as that stim is in your blood, you're the apex predator. Now that you know how to kill, we need to talk about prioritization. Just because you can't kill everything doesn't mean you should. You need to understand your place in the food chain. You are not crowd control. As for the guy with the breaker incendiary, your primary role is to take out everything greater than chaff, but smaller than the massives. Devastators, overseers, road commanders, even the chargers, hulks, and flesh mobs. Those are your priorities. Most players treat the latter enemies like boss fights. To you, you know how to deal with them now. They're just in your way. You exist to delete the heavies that push the line. And the massive targets, the factory striders, the bio titans, they are your boss fights. Just because they aren't your priority targets doesn't mean you can't take them on. You absolutely can. But the geometry of dismantling a walking building with a saw is a whole different conversation for another time. If you are interested in seeing that advanced class, let me know in the comments. If the demand is high enough, I'll file the paperwork. You're wearing heavy armor. Sure, it buys you a few extra hits, but you still can't take something like a Bile Titan Stomp. You aren't invincible, you're just more durable. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, if you're dead before you swing. Here's the obvious solution to taking hits. Don't. Rule 1, dive with purpose. Diving isn't just for dodging defensively, it's for lunging offensively. You can swing while diving, and you can dive while swinging. This turns a standard slash into a lunging strike. It greatly extends your effective reach. You hit them before they can even attack. The impact either staggers them or takes them out of the fight completely. If they're staggered, they can't hurt you. You aren't dodging damage, you're preventing it. Don't just flop on the ground to survive. Turn yourself into a projectile to kill. Rule 2, footwork discipline. Fighting with the chainsword is a rhythm. It's not just moving forward. You need to master the step in. Stay just outside of their reach. Bait the swing, let them hit the air. The second they miss, you step in. You punish the recovery, and the moment the threat gets too high, you step back out. Don't stay stationary. You're a piston. In to kill, out to survive. Rule 3, the angle of attack. You're a melee unit, running in a straight line, and anything shooting at you is suicide. You never run head on, you take them at an angle. By moving diagonally, you make yourself a harder target to track. They have to shift their aim to keep up. Then, at the last second, you cut in sharp. This doesn't just keep you alive, it sets you up perfectly to access their flanks and tear them open. Follow these rules, and you turn that heavy armor into a bulldozer. You stop being a target, and you finally become the butcher. There'll always be those who look at your loadout and laugh. Let them. While they're retreating to reload, you'll be surging forward. While they're waiting on cooldowns, you'll be carving a path through the front line. The chainsword isn't a meme. Like the epoch, it's one of the most honest weapons in our arsenal. It promises nothing but contact. You've got the loadout, the mechanics, and the movement. The rest is just closing the distance and letting this beast of a weapon eat. Don't forget, make sure to leave your chainsaw shenanigans in the comments below. If this briefing improved your lethality, like this transmission to update the fleet algorithms. If you want more content like this, subscribe to Sync Your Super Destroyer and receive future broadcasts as soon as they transmit. Don't just talk about the carnage that this thing can cause. Go cause it yourself. Dismissed.